bring in entrepreneur, investor, and two-time NBA All-Star Baron Davis, as well as you know, as a businessman. Baron was one of the original investors for Vitamin Water, and he helped launch Thrive Market. Baron is also the founder of several companies, including Sports and Lifestyle and Culture, the Black Santa Company, Business Inside the Game, and No Label. He is a mentor and coach for young up-and-coming basketball players and a longtime supporter of the Boys and Girls Club of Venice. And his nonprofit, Rising Stars of America, raises funds for basketball camps and sponsors AAU teams across Los Angeles. He's a little bit busy. Joining him as well is Ken Cole, founder and COO of FOODe, the platform that connects epicures with one another through shared experiences and gives them access to elevated dining experiences. FOODe enables everyone to become a foodie and get rewarded for it. And who does not like a good meal? Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. It's wonderful to have some time to speak with you.
Excited.
Yeah. Let's start, Baron. I mean, everyone knows that you really, after your MBA career, you went into entrepreneurship. We all here, obviously, that's why we're here. Startups is kind of in our blood, as well as tech. And just want to know, just what are some of the trends that are grabbing your attention right now? What are you seeing in this current economic climate that is grabbing your attention as you look at these startups and investing in them?
I say for us, we've been helping startups kind of build out a community. I think community, utility, and also just making sure that, there are digital receipts. So, a lot of people will say Web3, we're more into like the digitization of assets and looking at how can we build, an asset library, publishing library. And so using tech tools and companies that we can partner with to extend, libraries as far as, whether it's images, content, audio, things of that nature. So there's a great growing community of builders, of founders who are building with the ethos of community in mind first, and then using the tech tools to be able to amplify and build experience for their community.
Yeah. So what are the key indicators that tell you if it's a worthwhile investment? Because there are a lot of people in this space. We know a lot of creativity as well.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
So just what are the indicators that tell you if it's a good investment for you? That like, what are you kind of looking to determine which ones to work with?
Well, I think for us it's more so like, who can we help? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding, one, the founder, their mission, right, their know-how, what is their angle, and then on our side, we love entrepreneurs, startup founders. And our whole goal is, how do we get, the 8 or 9 people around here every day to strategize and help, whether it's find tools, find companies, find investors for those entrepreneurs. So, I would say for us, it's really about, the founder's know-how, ability to network, resource, and just put them in a position where, they can be front and center with, a partner or an investor.
Yeah, and one of those is FOODe. And Ken, tell us about this platform. It is fun. It is unique. I'm really looking forward to it. But tell us what really differentiates FOODe.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you, Mindi, and the Next Up Venture guys and everything like that who invested in FOODe and have continued to give us a platform and support, just like Baron has. But FOODe is a social utility app that connects foodies with one another through shared experiences while giving them access to elevated dining experiences. So really, we're utilizing modern technology to solve an age-old problem, right? Making a trusted decision on getting you to a dining experience. There's thousands of tools that are out there, right? But they usually aren't really focused on making the consumer journey easy to getting to the dining experience. Everybody eats, the market is huge. The restaurant tech space is something that's always had kind of a taste, no pun intended, for technology, right? So we really want to take our skill sets as founders and focus on the consumer journey and the consumer experience by, building a great product and hopefully helping solve that age-old problem.
Yeah, I think that what's really interesting about today's economic climate, though, Ken, when you talk about trying to do that, is we're seeing it in tech right now, right? It's streamlining. We're seeing the tech layoffs. We're seeing investors being very circumspect, and really wanting to be focused on their investment. How has that changed maybe your business approach or things that how you've been operating within the past year?
Yeah, absolutely. So, little background, right? This is actually my second startup. So I've had kind of experience of how to grow a company, from very little angel investment to kind of an enterprise level. My two co-founders are longtime Nike executives, right? So the first thing that we did when we teamed up about this was we wanted to build a business first, right? Anybody can build a product. Talent is everywhere right now, right? But we were really grounded in building a great company first. And when you do that, you focus on the brand, you focus on things like the consumer, you focus on your metrics, right? And the financials, things of that nature. I think that's why it's taken a while really for us to get our product out there, but we're very proud of the first steps we've taken with our business. So when you say, how's that changed our approach? It really hasn't, right? It's just helped us provide that confirmation and assurance of how we went about this thing to start with.
And who is your consumer? Who is your main customer?
Yeah, the main customer is everybody who goes out to eat, right? So
that's a big pool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have to chime in because I was like, well, I'm not a foodie. Like, what do I know about food? First of all, I probably know every restaurant in LA. That's all I talk about is food. And, I would say, a lot of times, and going back to investment, if it's something that I can use, something that I can be addicted to and kind of see an opportunity to engage. So I raised my hand because I did not know that I was a foodie, a foodie member until Ken came over here and he was like, dude, you're a foodie. Dude, you're a foodie. Everything about restaurants. And I'm like, I kind of do want to judge and rate restaurants. So, I've rabbit holed, I've drank the juice or eaten all the food, you can say. But it's just a great platform for someone like me, right? Yeah. Thinking about other athletes, right? When they're on the road, recommendations, thinking about, a lot of our musician friends when they're touring, but then thinking about, I coach AAU basketball, right? And so information is key, sharing information is key. And I think with the Foodie app, well, I know with the Foodie app, it's not just the information, it's actually content and it's an experience, right? And so I think that just takes it to a whole nother level when we're talking about what is the new form of interaction when it comes to wanting to go out or experiencing, a restaurant for the first time.
Yeah, because those are two different target audiences. The AAU team, it's like, where can you take a team of 25 for dinner?
Yeah.
But then when I'm going to New Orleans, where can I find my best soul food? It's just the best one. Two different audiences completely. You have some fun activations coming up. Tell us about how you're kind of getting Foodie out there with some of these activations.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is again where I'm very thankful for, guys like Baron, right? It goes beyond just capital investment, right? People like Baron and, my two co-founders and people who've supported us thus far, they've really given us their platform. So our first activation that we did was with Baron at NBA All-Star Weekend this year, right? So we teamed up with Big Summit, which is one of BD's companies, right? And we put on several foodie experiences at one of the most, culturally relevant events in the world, which is NBA All-Star Weekend, right? I think that really bodes well to kind of what BD was talking about earlier of how can I actually help this founder, right? So we can make it a 10X investment. So yeah, that was kind of our first soft launch activation this year, which was really, really fun. We had small plates that were passed around and great exposure for the brand and the app. Upcoming, we've got an F1 experience down in Miami next month, where we're actually putting on a Foodie yacht experience. When you talk about activations, one of the things that I want to make very, very clear, Foodie is not an event company, right? We are an experience company. That's what Foodie stands for, FOODE, right? We believe the people and the consumers are the foodies, but Foodie is the platform. So we really want to target these large-scale culturally relevant events where different people and communities are coming together, right, through a shared experience, and then offer an elevated dining experience around them, right? Because everybody has to eat, right? And people really enjoy elevated experiences.
Okay, Baron, last one for you before we wrap this one up. And if anybody has any questions, you can pop them into the Q&A. We only have a few more minutes, but once again, as you're looking at just the current climate, is in entrepreneurship and startups? What excites you? What's like grabbing your attention that maybe is new to you?
I just feel like there's a huge shift in everything. You know,
It does feel that way, doesn't it?
yeah, when you think about it, we were having a conversation. It was like, Twitter is almost 20 years old, Dropbox, Instagram, like YouTube, all of these platforms that have been media platforms and distribution platforms and communication tools for us are really like now, of age, right? Of adult age. And so when you start looking at what is the next generation, how are they consuming media? They're consuming it through gaming. They're consuming it actually going out again and playing. So you think about, the pandemic, slowed us down, but now, this is probably going to be one of the busiest summers, I would say, for us from, sports, entertainment, and just people being out, right? So I feel like everything has the ability to be kind of refurbished, reformatted, retargeted, and thinking about, I would say these founders that are building hyper communities, right? With the focus like FOODe, having a focus on a subsection of people, community, and targeting that and giving them tools. So we're excited about that. We're also excited about the gaming space. And then we have our own studio lot here. So obviously content and multimedia is at the forefront, but it's a great time to be a builder.
Yeah.
It's a great time to be a founder. And I think the thing that, when times like these cause for a lot of pressure and a lot of angst, is the best time for collaboration, the best time for partnerships, because I do believe that, that 5 to 15% of founders of culture, if they find each other, then it's going to, be able to disrupt the bigger ecosystem.
Yeah, making those connections. Absolutely. It definitely seems to be an atmosphere of curated experiences moving forward. Anywhere from the, concert space, like you said, FOODe is a perfect example. So, gentlemen, thank you so much. You do have one question. So if you would like to answer that in the chat for you, that would be really great for Mr. Terrell Green. Thanks, Terrell, for your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Baron, thank you for your time.
Are we answering this question or not?
Do you want to answer it now? Yeah, we can answer it right now if you want to. Do you guys believe in street teams to grow your brand? That's the question.
Absolutely. I think, for us, we kind of steal a lot of the recipe from, the late 90s, early 2000s, right? And like, if we are, planning events and experientials, one of the events that we're working on here at our studio, since it's a food desert, is creating a food marketplace and then a show and experience around that. So for us, it's all about promotion, getting the word out in the community, because it's an actual food desert. So street teams really, really, really mean something. I think street teams mean something when you go to your conferences and your festival, when people rocking your t-shirts or your hats and you showing that your uniform, it grows a lot of interest. So, I'm a big fan of street team, because like we're in content and music and it works.
Yep.
Yeah. Your biggest influencers. Okay.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. And FOODe, yeah, everybody can't wait to get more of it and hear more of that as